You know, it's not often you get a second chance in life, but it's even less common to get a second chance opportunity in finance. And what we're seeing right now in crypto, I believe, is a huge second chance opportunity because what we're seeing around the space is a lot of assets that are either at, early bull market cycle prices like March, April, May of 2024, or even earlier, pre-bull market cycle. And I think that's huge opportunity because right now we're at a time where frankly, there's a lot of capital sitting on the sidelines. It's really boring in the space. We have not yet seen adoption. And the masses are going to start flowing in. And some of those narratives that were really hot in the early part of the bull market cycle are going to get hot and loud once again. And I want to show you guys just a couple assets I'm watching very closely, what I think they could do in this bull market cycle. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So we obviously know BTC is in a very different spot than it was in the early part of 2024 and at the start of the bull market cycle. This has been very heavily a BTC cycle so far. And the reason why is institutional money has made it that way. There has been very much institutional interest. There's been over $40 billion in net flows to the institutional side, and they have been heavily accumulating BTC in large ways. We're starting to see governments now do the same thing. So BTC has kind of separated itself from the rest of the crypto market for now. And why I'm saying this for now is because there is opportunity throughout the space outside of Bitcoin, and the masses are going to realize that. Institutional players are beginning to realize that. Governments will eventually realize that. And what that has led to is some very heavy discounts throughout the space. It's the reason why, when we look at BTC dominance, it's so high right now. It's because a lot of these alts have bled to some of those early bull market cycle levels. Now, that doesn't scare me at all. That is huge, huge opportunity throughout the space. Some of the assets I'm looking at in this space are either AI driven or real world asset driven. Just for example, to give you guys a couple, Ondo, for example, is one that I've actually picked up recently. That's back at April, March of 2024 prices. If we look at something like, let's say BitTensor, that's back at December of 2023 prices. Take a look at Near. That's back at, again, December of 2023 prices. And again, we can go so on and so forth. The Caspa early bull market cycles, the early bull market cycle prices, November of 2023. And really the only ones that as of late have done very well are your US based assets, your ADA, your XRP, your, I can't remember if Algo's still up. Algo's still kind of those early 2024 prices as well. HBAR's up heavily, XLM's up heavily, but you guys get the point, right? Most assets in the space right now are at some extreme discounts, but where things are interesting is they've told you where they want to run to. For example, take a look at something like Jasmy, and I'm not, paid by any of these coins or anything like that. If you're curious, I'd love to be, but you guys can see that, for example, Jasmy down very, very heavily from those peaks that we saw actually at the height of December, right? Down right now it'd be a 387% run to get back to those prices. Injective, to get back to those prices, you're talking about a 425% run. That's opportunity. A lot of people will sit and complain and really ignore what is sitting on the table before us. And it's a second chance to accumulate assets at early bull market cycle prices. Many of these assets have made significant strides forward. Another one, just to show you guys too, Fetch, right? ASI. Gosh, it's stupid how cheap it is right now. It's really stupid how cheap crypto is in general across the crypto market. And we don't often get these opportunities to accumulate at these lower prices. Now, I'm sure many of you are like me. I'm very cash poor right now because I have bought the dip so heavily. I accumulated actually very heavily in February. I bought a little bit more in March. I'm kind of tapped right now, but I'm hoping for just a little bit more sideways action to pick up these discounted prices. But the problem that we have is that once we start to see this capital re-enter the space, like we keep talking about time and time again, then things are going to start to get wild in the market. Many of these other altcoins throughout the space, it does not take a lot of money to move the needle. We're talking about hundreds of millions to billion, just a couple $1 billion in terms of market cap. So when you start having some of that capital re-enter those markets, they can surge, they can explode, right? They can do a 5x, a 10x in a matter of just a couple days. that is one of the beauties of the crypto market is we are so much in our infancy right now, and the market cap of assets is so cheap currently that it doesn't take much to move the needle. And then things begin to accelerate once we get into mass adoption. Once you start to see those, 400 million new users start to enter the crypto market. They're slowly trickling in right now, but it's not the big boom of adoption that we've been waiting for. But when that hits, I wouldn't be surprised by many of these assets returning back to their March highs or their December highs, like we've just seen recently, right? So the point I want to make is, around this space, there's a ton of opportunity. There's a ton of opportunity in blue chips. There's a ton of opportunity in the assets I talk about very heavily on this channel. But there are a lot of unknowns in terms of assets that will be up and comers, ones that will explode and do 10x, 20x, 50x from here. And the biggest thing I can say is don't destroy your second chance. Don't get funded out of your bag. Don't give into the manipulation that's taking place throughout the market. As always, this isn't financial advice. People can do whatever they want, but just understand that there is big opportunity in front of you. And it's a question of, are you going to seize it or are you going to let it slip by you once again? So have a great day. Share your love below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.